What's up, guys? This is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal development for INFJs and how to create an epic life on your terms. Today we're talking about the 7 signs you're ready to start your INFJ warrior journey, 7 signs that you're ready to grow. It's INFJ warrior month, so when is a better time than now to actually think about what it takes? What are the signs that you've been dealing with maybe for the longest time and you just need one more nudge in the right direction in order to start? You know, I'm a big fan of personal development. It's my sanctuary. It's what I do when other people maybe do fitness way more often. It's the thing that gives me sanity, and it's the thing I do even if I don't feel like now is the time to start going. But most of us are actually right there. They have all the things in front of them. They tell them now is the time. So let's dig into these things and see if you can resonate with some of them. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to take the next step in creating your INFJ epic life and you want my help with it, then work with me privately. All the information you find below. Sign number 1, you've reached your limit. Your mindset doesn't reflect reality. This is the typical thing when people talk about cognitive dissonance. So you have an idea about what reality is all about, and you continuously get mirrored back that that's not the case. At some point, you just snap. At some point, you have a reality break. At some point, you have to adjust something, because you cannot change the world. You cannot change how people react towards you. You cannot change how your environment is, the way you've been brought up, whatever happened in the past. You cannot change this. And very often we go through life and we have a particular idea about how life is supposed to be, how we understand others on a very particular level, and then you continuously get the feedback that that's not the case. You always keep on asking yourself, why don't they understand me? Why isn't this working? And you keep on going in the same circle and it never ends. If you're at this point, you've actually reached your limit. You know you have to change something about your mindset. It is something that is very hurtful. It's a big ego loss. I went through it. I always call it, that's the phase when I had a real reality break. I had to change my self-image and I had to change how I see myself in the world. That was the moment when I definitely knew I'm ready to start growing, because at that moment I knew that the pain it's going to take to stay small is just bigger than the pain it's going to take to blossom. You know, this is a very famous quote by Anna Isnin, and there's no other time where this is more prevalent, where this makes sense more than ever before. If you're at a point where you know something's got to change, I've reached my limit, now is the time to start growing and to do all of those things that you've been afraid of for so long. Sign number 2, you're angry all the time at everything and everybody. If this is you, then trust me, it's time to grow. That means that something is going on that doesn't allow you to actually take back control. Anger comes from a place of, I don't have any power here. I'm not able to make it better. People are out to get me, or the world isn't doing me any favors, and the anger doesn't go away. If you're continuously in a state of anger, trust me, it's time to grow. Become bigger than the problems. Become somebody who takes charge so those things don't have such an effect on you. And it is possible. I've seen it with people. I've gone through that journey myself. I'm more of a person who wasn't angry to begin with, but I actually went through a phase where I needed to let out so much of my anger. Like, this is something we also have to learn. But when it comes to sign number 2, it's more important to understand, if you're somebody who continuously think the world is bad, people are out to get me, people just want to hurt me, whatever it is that's going on in your mind that makes you angry all the time, then know for sure it's time to grow. So all of those things don't affect you anymore. You're way above that. You don't have to understand what's going on. You're standing over it. You're bigger than this. And then no matter what's going on, no matter what other people are doing, it just doesn't have an effect on you. That being said, let's go to sign number 3, which is the exact opposite. And that is that you're completely numbed out. So don't get me wrong. When you're completely angry all the time, this is still better than being numbed out. That is for sure. Like, even in everything that you read when it comes to this topic, anger, you're still moving energy. You allow your emotions needs to go out. When you numb yourself out, you don't even feel anything. You go through life, you're not angry at anybody, everybody is right, and that thing also keeps you stuck. None of these extremes is healthy. So when I say become bigger than your problem, become bigger than the thing that makes you angry from a perspective of sign number 2, then this does not mean that you have to numb yourself out. The contrary, allow your emotions to come out, allow yourself to be angry, but know that you're not going to stay in that phase. You're going to get bigger, you're going to take charge, you're not continuously going to engage with people who bring out the anger in you. So when it comes to numbing yourself out, this is a typical INFJ thing as well, because we don't want to deal with our emotions. In both cases, if you're being angry all the time, or if you're numbing yourself out completely and you're never angry, you don't take responsibility for your own feelings, for choosing yourself and taking steps that'll make your life better. If you always think, oh, okay, I'm always angry, others are always wrong, then it's a default state we take on, so we never really have to decide, am I in the right here or am I in the wrong here? How am I going to pursue this? Same thing with numbing yourself out. When you numb yourself out, this most often happens because you don't want to be the one who says something that might be considered selfish. You don't want to put yourself first. This is just as detrimental as being angry is. It keeps you stuck, although being angry is a little bit better, but they're both not the kind of emotions we want to live in. So when you're in a position where you numb yourself out all the time, it's time to do something that makes you angry. It's not always necessary to think everything through. It's not necessary to always have it all logically. Allow those emotions to come out. Know that they will pass. Be willing to be judged and make a point of putting yourself first. You have to be the one who chooses yourself, and you're okay if other people think you're selfish, you're self-centered, whatever it is, it does not matter. We have to get that process going. Trust me, it will not stay like this. The goal, of course, is to get to a place where you actually give out of your cup of energy that's overflowing, right? We want you to feel good. We want you to choose yourself first so you can then help others, but not at the expense of your own well-being. So when you numb yourself out, trust me, it's time to grow. Sign number 4, you feel like a martyr. If this is you, trust me, it's time to grow. If you go through life and you believe the one thing that makes you so special is that you're strong enough to take it. People are in your life because you're willing to sacrifice so much for them. You're always the one giving more. You're always the one who actually is the better person in that scenario, right? You're giving more, you're more of the helper. The other person is maybe a beautiful person inside from your perspective. They're maybe the best thing that ever happened to you. They're interesting. They have things going on. But what makes you special is the fact that you are neglecting yourself in order to serve others, in order to make others feel good. You're dimming your light, and that in itself gives you a good feeling. So remember, we're doing everything because it has a benefit to us, right? Even if you're in a relationship that's really toxic, you have some kind of payoff out of it, right? It's not that it's good, but we always do something because there's some kind of payoff in this. Even if it's a payoff of feeling horrible, but that's how we're used to feeling, so that kind of thing makes us feel like we're at home. So if you feel like you're a martyr, if you feel like you're the one who sacrifices yourself in order to make other people feel good, and that is something that defines you, trust me, it's time to grow. Sign number 5, you feel like everybody's enjoying life, everybody's living life, but you're just a spectator. You feel like the observer. You feel like you never get to be like a normal person. That is what makes you special. That is what makes you unique. You don't get to experience those feelings. And so many of us have gotten accustomed to this so much, and we feel like there is no other way out. That's just how I am. I'm an INFJ. That's just who I am, and I can never change that. Trust me when I tell you, if you start your growth journey, if you take on that warrior part of you, you will change that aspect, and it will not feel like you're playing by other people's rules. It will not feel like you're pretending like life is happening just to make it look like you're part of it. You actually feel like it, and it will look completely different than everything you've done in the past where you just pretended to be part of the group in order to evoke the impression that you're living life. No, trust me, life is about experiencing it. You're not the observer. You're the leading character of your movie. And it does not matter if you're an INFJ or not, you have the right to experience life as it is. And I'm here to tell you, you can change your mindset around this. You can change the way you feel, you experience, and therefore take charge of your life. Sign number 6, you know you're not reaching your potential. So we all know that nobody's really reaching their potential, right? We all know there's so much more to us, but many people are oblivious to this. They are not thinking about it. They don't really care, but we know that there's this part of us that really makes us feel like there's more to me. I have an entire video on this aspect. So if you know deep inside you're not reaching your potential, you're not leaning into it, it is hidden within you. You know there's more to you, but you're dimming your light. Trust me, it's time to grow. There's nothing you need to wait on. Nothing is going to come. Nothing is going to make you feel like it's worth keeping that potential hidden. Very often we do this due to trauma we've experienced when we were younger. Sometimes we feel like, okay, I cannot reach into that potential because if I do, nobody's going to accept me. Nobody's going to love me. Nobody's going to respect me. The reason why they do is because I choose them, because I focus on them. When you start your growth journey, when you turn into this INFJ warrior, you will have to confront these things. Doesn't happen overnight and you cannot take on everything at once. But if you weren't strong enough to handle it, you wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't be on the verge of starting that process. When you know there's potential within you and so far you haven't tapped into it, trust me, it's time to grow. It's time to take some steps. And that is exactly what your body, your soul, your mind is waiting on. And our last sign, sign number 7, that you're ready to take on your growth journey, your INFJ warrior journey, is that you feel alone no matter how many people you surround yourself with. If you're somebody who feels like I can understand everybody, but nobody understands me. I'm there for others, but I keep that part hidden of me. No matter what I try, sometimes I even open up to those special people and then I get something in return which tells me again, no, you're too different. Nobody understands you. You're just weird. And there's nothing you can do to make other people understand you. There's nothing you can do in order to feel connected. You feel alone all the time. If you're in that position, trust me, it's time to grow. There are things you can do. There are ways to start that INFJ warrior journey. But in order to do that, you have to admit to yourself that you're ready to grow, that you're ready to take on steps you've never taken on before, and that you're ready to confront your anxieties, that you're ready to confront your beliefs, and that you're ready to confront this image of yourself. All of this has to be open for reevaluation. So if you resonate with most of these, trust me, it's time to take that step. It's time to commit to this and make it the priority in your life. Because if you put yourself first, if you decide my personal growth has to come first, I'm ready to be an INFJ warrior. The moment you decide to take this on and you make this the priority, things will change. But you may not know how to change them, how to start that process. You know, I have a lot of videos on this, but in the next one, we're gonna particularly talk about the 7 steps you can take to start the journey. When you don't know where to start, when you don't know how to approach it, this video will help you. Remember, if you want my personal help in this journey, then work with me privately. All the information you find below. And if you want to watch another video now that gives you another push into that direction, then watch the video on INFJ, the real alpha. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I talk to you next time. Bye.